talking about the three major types of characters in a story. The primary or the main character is called the protagonist. The adversary in a story is called the antagonist. And then there are the supporting actors. Now, the supporting actors can either support the protagonist or they can support the antagonist. So, a protagonist is a character that has to deal with some kind of conflict and has to overcome that conflict in the story. The antagonist is the person that is preventing the protagonist from achieving his goal or her goal. The antagonist is someone who creates the conflict, is someone who is doing his or her best to prevent the protagonist from achieving the goal or changing or becoming a better person. Whatever the conflict in the story is, that's where we have the conflict between the protagonist and the antagonist. Now let's look at the gospel. We can go to the gospel, we can go to the Bible, and the Bible's full of stories, and they're true stories. They're biographies in a sense. So let's take a look at the gospel. In the gospel, the primary protagonist is Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is bringing a message to Israel, to the Hebrews, and he's being prevented by not an individual in this case as a antagonist, but a group. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, two groups that are preventing or attempting to prevent Jesus Christ from fulfilling his mission of spreading this message of his. Now we have supporting actors, and the supporting actors in this case are the 12 apostles and everyone else that contributes or is supporting or doing something to assist in one way or another Jesus in the story. So we have, for example, when Jesus sends the apostles out to spread the word, they're supporting his message. So they're supporting actors. When the guards, on the other hand, come in the garden to take Jesus away, they're arresting him, they're supporting the Pharisees. So we have the Pharisees as a group being the antagonist in our biblical story account of the events that led to Jesus' crucifixion. And at that point, we would assume, or at least the Pharisees assumed, that they were victorious, that they had prevented Jesus from spreading the message and making it difficult for them because their only interest was in wealth and maintaining their wealth. They weren't really interested in the people's salvation. They were afraid that they would lose their surplus of money coming in for from whatever source, donations, selling sheep, whatever the case may be. Now they were happy and satisfied that he's gone. But we know that the resurrection is the completion of Jesus' mission, and therefore the protagonist has this conflict. He's being prevented from performing his mission, at least in the eyes of the antagonist, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. But his mission is accomplished and he's successful when we witness the resurrection. So there you have it. The protagonist, the antagonist, and the supporting actors. Now let's examine what's going on and bring it to your life. Which one of those characters are you? Are you, and in many cases, most of us are a protagonist. We have a conflict in our life. In many cases, we create our own conflict. So therefore, we are both the protagonist and the antagonist at the same time. For example, if I have a drinking habit or if I'm addicted to drugs, I'm becoming my own antagonist that's preventing me, the protagonist, from having a happy, joyful, creative, successful life. So I'm my own worst enemy. Now, in some cases, if you're, for example, a woman and your husband is abusive, then your husband is your antagonist and you're the protagonist that has to do something in order to prevent further abuse. The supporting actors in that particular case may be your parents, your friends that are telling you to divorce the guy, to move away, to have him arrested. He may even have supporting characters rather, that are saying to him, why are you doing that? What's wrong with you? That's your wife. You should be loving her and you shouldn't be abusing her. Okay? So, what type of situation are you in? Are you the antagonist preventing someone from doing something? Are you a supporter? Do you support somebody? What are you doing? What's your contribution? Now, all of us are all three of those things at any given time. We could be the protagonist because we want to improve our life. We could be the antagonist that's actually creating conflict, creating consequences that prevent ourselves from growing. We could be supporting others. So in many cases, we could find ourselves in any one of those three situations at any given time. The thing is, what do we want to be all the time? Now, if being a righteous individual all the time would mean that as a protagonist, I've achieved my goal. I've become that righteous person. I'm now living the life that God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit wanted me to live. So here I am. I've accomplished that. I'm victorious over my conflict, which is my sin. And now I'm able to live that righteous life. So I've overcome my own personal demon, my own antagonist within. And now I've become the protagonist, the successful protagonist living a righteous life. And now I'm able to do what? Be a greater supporter of other protagonists who are trying to do what? Overcome an antagonist in their life. See? So, when and where are you the protagonist, the antagonist, or the supporting character? And when are you any one of these three things? of these three types of characters, because more than likely, as I said, you're probably all of them, depending upon a situation. So until next time, I want you to do your homework and look at these things and start saying to yourself, like, which one am I in terms of types of characters? Now, you're going to see a few photographs of a actor playing different characters as we close this video. So stay on just to get a glimpse of what I've added, and keep in mind, what type of character am I?